Master of the Twist, Unlocking Mechanical Design. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something so wonderfully mundane, so perfectly ordinary, that you've probably literally never stopped to think about the engineering required to actually conquer it. Okay, I want you to think back for a second. Have you ever been just completely defeated by a stubborn plastic bottle cap? Right? We all know that universal, highly specific frustration. You know the drill. You're trying to pry open a tightly sealed soda bottle with your bare hands. Your fingers slip, those sharp little plastic ridges dig right into your skin, and no matter how hard you squeeze and twist, the cap just totally refuses to budge. It's a classic human versus object showdown. And frankly, the plastic usually wins. But, well, that's exactly where smart design steps in to save our fingers. Now check out this unique product from the TeamDrop app. It's designed specifically, explicitly to conquer that exact problem. At first glance, it might look like just a random tool from a hardware store, but actually, this is a highly specialized piece of equipment. What we're looking at here is an absolute masterclass in applying physics to an everyday annoyance. It's not just a bottle opener, it's practically a structural intervention for your hands. To truly understand how this device works, we have to talk about mechanical advantage. By definition, mechanical advantage is using a tool to multiply the force applied to an object, which makes a physical task significantly easier to perform. See, when you're struggling with a bottle cap, your hand is acting at a massive mechanical disadvantage. Your fingers just can't generate the rotational force, the torque, necessary to break that stubborn factory seal. This tool's entire existence is dedicated to flipping that equation. It takes the meager force your hand can comfortably produce and multiplies it exponentially. The anatomy of this gadget starts right at the top with a prominent black T-handle. And wow, this is a brilliant design choice that completely changes human ergonomics. A T-handle is actually one of the most efficient shapes for human hands to interact with when rotational force is needed. Think of a corkscrew or maybe a heavy-duty wrench. By shifting the interaction point away from the tiny, painful surface area of a bottle cap and moving it up to this wide horizontal bar, the designer has entirely reimagined how we approach opening a bottle. Just notice how this design immediately shifts your posture. The user's entire hand effortlessly wraps around the handle to engage the cap. The fingers curl securely under the wide handle. The palm presses down from the top, and this is key. The wrist is locked in a strong, neutral position. This isn't some delicate operation anymore. No, this is a stance of absolute control. The difference here is literally day and night. The old way, the standard pinch, relies entirely on the super limited strength of your thumb and index finger. It strains small tendons and relies entirely on skin friction, which is terrible. But the new way, the full hand T-grip, brings the much larger, way more powerful muscles of your forearm, your bicep, and even your shoulder right into the equation. You aren't just using your fingers to open the bottle anymore, you're throwing your entire arm into it. Moving down, right below that ergonomic handle, lies the actual gripping mechanism. And this thing is built like a miniature vise. You've got a sliding track to adjust for different bottle sizes, dual curved clamping plates to perfectly cradle the cap, and heavy-duty screws holding the whole shebang together for absolute stability. Now, the crucial point of failure for our bare hands is friction. But here, you've got these thick, curved metallic teeth screwed right into the plates. They're designed to aggressively bite into the plastic. You see, skin on plastic slips, but sharp metal clamping down on soft plastic, that creates an unyielding mechanical lock. Once those teeth engage, that cap has absolutely nowhere to go but around. So, the result is this seamless three-step process. First, place the tools so the adjustable jaws seat themselves. Second, apply that comfortable full-hand grip we talked about. And third, just twist. Thanks to the leverage torque provided by the handle's width, the effort required to break the seal is practically zero. It transforms a high-friction, high-effort struggle into a smooth, deeply satisfying mechanical click. Beyond just the mechanics, though, it's really fascinating to look at the e-commerce context framing this product. The layout itself is built to immediately communicate utility. We aren't just looking at some dry patent drawing. We're looking at exactly how this tool is sold to a modern consumer. In the digital age, a product's design has to be so intuitive that it explains its own value proposition in a fraction of a second before the user swipes away to the next thing. Notice the familiar user interface elements surrounding this, the timestamp, the battery life, and that big Add to TeamDrop button. It frames a clean, three-panel visual that instantly sells the solution to a scrolling buyer without needing a single word of text. It just shows you the tool, the action, and the mechanism. It's pure visual storytelling, completely optimized for commerce. So, Why does all this matter? Well, because this isn't just some clever novelty gadget destined for the junk drawer. It's actually a vital piece of everyday accessibility hardware. For a lot of people, especially those dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or age-related loss of grip strength, a sealed plastic bottle is a genuine barrier. This tool significantly reduces finger and joint strain. It empowers users with limited dexterity, restoring their independence in the kitchen. It takes what can literally be a painful chore and transforms it back into an effortless, accessible action. Honestly, that is the true power of good mechanical design. It levels the playing field. Which leaves us with a really fascinating thought to take away today. As we look around our homes, what other minor, frustrating tasks could be instantly solved with just a little bit of mechanical advantage? I mean, if a simple tea handle and some metal teeth can conquer the stubbornly sealed soda bottle, what other everyday objects are just waiting for a mechanical redesign to make our lives infinitely easier? Keep an eye out for those everyday struggles, because chances are there's a brilliantly simple mechanism out there waiting to solve it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you